Welcome back in, guys. Another crazy night in the NBA. We were talking about it on the live yesterday, just some questions, we were getting about officials and things being rigged, this and that. And not that necessarily we believe that. However, last night, Raptors, Lakers, the free throw disparity, crazy. Rakovic, however you pronounce his name, Raptors coach, goes on the full rant and really just called it out blatantly about the disparity in the game and, everything to give it up. So some of you guys have been questioning us about the integrity of the officials in the league, and now the head coach is starting to do it too. So maybe something's cooking up there, John.
Yeah. Look, some referees are just bad, missing calls. Some may have some biases. When you're playing against LeBron, remember the old Jordan rules. So the guy's going to be, the GOAT or the second GOAT, if you want to call it. But it's just the way it is. Look, get it. 36-13 free throw disparity. I mean, you can't win a game when you get outshot by that many free throws. You just can't do it. So Toronto shoots 56.4% from the field and loses a game at the free throw line. So frustration on any coach. But again, let's chalk it up to referees missing calls. There's no grand conspiracy, guys. NBA is not saying let's have the Lakers win. Or every 2 minutes of every game is under review, and that happened again. And the NBA called out the refs in the Celtic-Pacer game the other night. They made a mockery of that game. Sometimes it's just bad officiating, and that's what I think we got some of yesterday. Unfortunately for the Raptors, they got to get right back in LA against probably the hottest team in the NBA right now, and the Clippers. We'll talk more about that when we get there. But big NBA card today. I've got a 5-unit bet. I absolutely love this game, and stay with us. It's down on the schedule a little bit, but stay with us, and you'll get that one here for free.
Yep, stay tuned, guys, and make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe below. Help us grow this thing a little bit. We can just start diving into this card here. Some of these teams who played last night going to be going tonight. We can touch on that as well. One more quick mention, actually, about Memphis, because they're not going today. Marcus Smart, they pull out that game yesterday against Dallas. They look phenomenal, but Marcus Smart, he has the finger issue, dislocates that. So what could go wrong has gone wrong now for the Grizzlies, but they still look good last night, able to pull out a win.
Yeah, we said it. I don't know if we said it here or on Instagram or both. I get confused doing all these shows. But I talked about how I had Memphis circled. What kept us off Memphis yesterday, we already know Ja's out, was Triple J, Jackson Jr., and Aldemar also being out. Now it becomes what we call a cluster. One guy's out, you give him so many points. When a second guy's out, you don't just give him the points he would normally be worth, but it's the points plus. And then you get a rotation guy like Aldemar. So it's a cluster. So you get 2 stars and another rotation guy out of the lineup. And you say to yourself, why do I want to bet Memphis? But, yeah, we had Memphis circled. This is the way we've been going. We've been going with some hard luck. Injuries that we stay against, they win. The ones we go, it's been a tough run. But, yeah, we had Grizzlies circled yesterday. If you've been a listener, you've heard me talk about Swan. I think I talked about him just yesterday, how go look at that plus-minus column. And he's always on the right side in that plus-minus column. You take him out now with Ja also. Memphis back in that same boat they won towards the beginning of the season, and that's where they'll be back now.
Yeah, he was a plus 16 last night over his last 3 games, averaging over 25 points per game. So adding in, he was just starting to get back in rhythm from injuries originally coming back from, looking good, and then there's that issue. But that's the NBA. Injuries. Going to have a bunch of those we're going through on this slate today. If you guys want updates on those, sign up on the app or the website. Top game on the card is a gross one. 2 of the worst teams, and not just this season, but maybe NBA history. The 2-28 San Antonio Spurs in their last 30 games, and the 1-33 Pistons in their last 34 games. Absolutely disgusting basketball coming our way in this one. Pistons back-to-back, and I saw the graphic or the meme, whoever posted it last night, was Pistons come out blazing with a 47-point first quarter and a 21-point loss. And I just never thought I'd see that headline ever, putting up 47 in the first. Started off the game 18-22. Got to be a little bit of a letdown factor, I imagine. Crazy game they swung from that. Second go-around without Cunningham, and that's the other thing. You're going to have a lot of minutes that got made up last night without Cunningham in there. Going to have to be carried over tonight into a back-to-back. I hate saying it, and I ever so slightly lean Spurs in this one, laying the points. Pistons have had success in the matchup at home, but it's just tough to get in on this one with this Pistons team back-to-back, no Cunningham.
Yeah, ugly is the word of this game. Two historic losing streaks playing each other. What Detroit did yesterday, Detroit jumped out to a 20-point first quarter lead without Cunningham in the lineup. This NBA will drive you crazy. No Cunningham, their best player, they jump out to a 20-point lead, only to go on and lose by 21, a 41-point swing in that time span. That being said, they're back-to-back. Even though they're back-to-back, they're home with no travel. The home team has won and covered the last 4 meetings. That covers the last 2 years, while both teams have been both pretty shitty. I can't make San Antone a 3-point favorite on the road. It's not that far off the line, but if it was to go higher, even with Cunningham out, even with the back-to-back, I'd have to take the Pistons as a home dog. Not there yet. Number would have to go higher.
Then we have Wizards at Indiana. A lot of over trends here on this matchup. The last one didn't go over 261. It landed on 260, but obviously no Halliburton, so that line's come down a good ways. Still, though, action been coming in on the over tonight. You have Wizards who are coming off a loss to the Thunder. Pretty high-scoring game there. They shot 47% from 3 in that one. You have this Washington team 1-8 their last 9. They've been decent covering on the road this season, 11-9 against the spread. Backdoor a lot of numbers. Question is, what are you going to get out of this Pacers team? They're absolutely red hot, 7-1 their last 8 before this Halliburton info. We'll see what they can come up with today. We'll see what McConnell can bring them. He definitely gives them the production, and that's a part of why I like the over still, even without Halliburton. McConnell can help run the offense. They have a bunch of guys who put up points. They run guns blazing, but you lose a lot defensively. I mean, Halliburton's a big guard, and you go all the way down to 5'11". McConnell is just a big difference on that side of the ball. You have your 29th and 30th teams in points allowed. Might as well play that over on this one.
These teams have met twice so far this year, each winning at home and winning big at home. Last year, they split 4 meetings, also splitting at Indiana. So Wizards, look, this is going to be another high-scoring, blazing game. I think the Pacers can still cover without Halliburton. Look, Halliburton's great, NBA league leader in assists, but I still think they can cover. This will be a wide-up scoring game. There'll be runs in this one, 15-1, 13-2 runs, back-and-forth game. To me, it's 7.5. It's still Pacers or nobody. I mean, if I had Halliburton in this game, I'd have to make them at least 12.5. So I don't give Halliburton that much. Remember, Pacers are a deep team. Mm-hmm. Washington, terrible, 3-16 on the road. They do cover. But where do they cover? They cover those double-digit numbers, backdooring and stuff. So to me, Pacers are nobody, even with the big number at this one.
And we got Kings at Charlotte. Kings back-to-back after coming back from 20 to win by 20 at Detroit. Sabonis, another triple-double. Barnes, he's going to be questionable. And then you have this Hornets team. They're coming off an overtime loss Monday against the Bulls. They're 1-13, their last 14. Weird matchup history. And we talk about ownership versus revenge and at what point comes what. And this is a little bit ownership here for Charlotte. 8-2 straight up against the spread the last 10. Kings did win in Charlotte last year, and then you had that loss January 2nd, just about a little over a week ago. Hornets are 15.5 dogs. They lose, I believe it's 10 or 11 in a row at that point. They go into Sacramento and pull it out outright. So is this revenge for Sacramento, or is the ownership there? That's a real question in this game. Lean a little bit more so to the ownership, especially with the Kings coming in on a back-to-back after overcoming the big deficit in Detroit. Would be a lean to Charlotte on this game, but one I want a bit more points with.
Yeah, Kings had to put their guys out there last night. Don't be fooled by that 21-point win. Now, so down 20, they come back. They take a 15-point third quarter lead, only to let the Pistons tie it up again and have to pull away in the fourth. So they had to play their guys. Now, you won't see Harrison Barnes' name anywhere except in the Massa Edge previews. He played 14 minutes. No mention that he's out, but he only played 14 minutes last night. So I've got him marked questionable. We'll wait to see what word we hear on him. We know P.J. Washington, he's going to miss his second straight game for Charlotte. Also out. Ball's been out forever. Hayward is out. Williams, the center, is out. This is shorthanded Charlotte team. 1-13 their last 14 games straight up, but 6-8 against the spread. They kind of hang around against the spread. This is a high enough number where maybe they could stick around. All the money so far has gone on Sacramento early, and that's where I would have put mine. Only question is Barnes in? That's what stopped me from making this bet. When this game was 6.5 on the overnight, I would have laid it if I knew Barnes was going to play. That being said, look, Sacramento, they just get it done on the road. Last year, best road record against the spread in the NBA, and doing it again this year. Where we at now with them? Charlotte 10-6 against the spread. So just cannot bet the Hornets at home in this one. Would it be Sacramento or nobody? Want to wait on that Harrison Barnes info.
And we have Wolves going on to Boston. They're back-to-back. They just crushed the Magic against us in Orlando last night. Towns, he had a solid game. And then you have the Celtics team coming off that crazy loss in Indiana Monday. The foul that got overturned, and then a foul that got called on Porzingis late. So they're coming off that tough loss. But Boston at home, 17-0, 11-6 against the spread. They had a crazy meeting earlier this year. Wolves ended up pulling it out in overtime at home. But here's the catch. Celtics have won the last 16 meetings in Boston. Last year was by 12 points. That is a trend. Cannot go against. It is Celtics or nothing all the way. They're really banged up in this game. Going to be missing some guys. Question is who. Porzingis and Holiday questionable. Wait to see how low of a number you can get as far as Celtics sitting guys tonight.
Yeah, and this is another game. Celtics opened 6.5. We just didn't know who was playing, or we just want to get on this game. This is when we talk about revenge. So Celtics go out to Minnesota earlier in the year, get beat in overtime, but they own this matchup, especially at Boston. But this is the front end of a back-to-back. They go to Milwaukee tomorrow. So we already know Al Horford will not play both ends of the back-to-back. Is he out tonight? Is he play tomorrow? Do they play him one and Porzingis one? With that also, they've also got Holiday listed questionable. Would normally mean nothing, but tomorrow Holiday would be his first trip back to Milwaukee, so maybe they will sit him and rest him for that Milwaukee spot. Look, this would have been a layup to lay Celtics in this game at full strength. But if there's no Horford or Porzingis and no Holiday, I want no part of the Celtics. Remember, Celtics one of the thinnest benches in the NBA this year.
So we're going to have 76ers at Atlanta. Embiid, he's missed 4 of the last 6. He's going to be out again tonight. And I believe he only has 8 games. He's allowed to miss the rest of the year before he's out of the MVP conversation. Sorry to anybody who might have any MVP futures. You have 76ers coming off a loss to Utah the other night. He didn't play. Harris didn't play. They've been pretty solid on the road this season. And then you have the Hawks coming off another loss, this time in overtime against the Magic. Atlanta, 4-21 against the spread. Their last 25, 2-12 against the spread at home. John, I know yesterday you said there's no such thing as a no-bet list. Atlanta has been on my no-bet list for the last couple of weeks, just 4-21 against the spread. I'm not trying to guess when they cover, but I will say today's the day I lean to them a little bit. It's this Philly team. They were playing well for a little bit there without Embiid. But how long can you get that kind of production out of these guys? How long before it starts to take a toll? And so I think we're starting to get to that point. So Atlanta, we'll see if they have anything up their sleeves to come back and get a game here for us. The only thing 76ers do have going for them, they haven't played since Saturday.
Look, there is no such thing as a no bet list for a sharp. If the points are right, it's a bet. If Philly was a 5-point favorite, we'd be betting Atlanta for a 5-unit bet because that's the line. So takes care of that list. That being said, Atlanta 2-12 against the spread at home. But you know what? Who did they beat in their last home game? Who at that time the hottest team, OKC, coming off the Celtic win. Any team could win on any given night. It's all about the spread, guys. All about what the line is. Philly, this is a different team, obviously without Embiid. Embiid, an MVP candidate. He's missed 4 of the last 6 games. He'll be out again tonight. Of the games he's played, 14 straight 30-plus point, 10-plus rebound games. That goes back onto the list, but like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain, it's the only guys of the 5 or 6 guys with that type of numbers for the longest streak. That being said, you're going to go into Atlanta. They've won the last 2 meetings this year and the last 5 and covered the last 5, but they'll be without Embiid. They will have Harris back. He missed the last game. He's been at practice the last couple of days, and Melton, who's missed the last 3 games, so they should both be back. Here's a game I'm waiting to see. Is Capella in? Capella questionable for Atlanta. If he's out, that negates that a little bit, the loss of Embiid. Atlanta just not getting it done at home. So Philly has been good on the road. But again, different team. Philly, 5th, allowing 111.3 points a game. 6th, scoring 119.5 points per game. But in these 4 games, these last 4 games without Embiid, averaging just 111. So we'll wait to see the Capella info. And again, Atlanta scores a lot, gives up a lot. Would have to be Philly or nobody for me in this spot.
We got Thunder going on in Miami. They're coming off a win at Washington, 1-2, 0-3 against the spread on this trip. They're cooling off a little bit. Then you have this Miami team coming off a nice win against the Rockets at home the other night. You have Lowry, Butler, and Martin all remaining out for Miami, so it's going to be another shorthanded team. And that's the Spoelstra special. There's a reason he just got his $120 million coaching extension yesterday, and that's because he finds a way to get it done. We talk about Miami not covering at home. They're bottom 3 against the spread at home last year. They're 6-10 against the spread at home this year. But 10-6 straight up, they win games, and giving them a lot of points here as a home dog has to be a look at Miami or nothing.
This is one of 2 bets for me today. I'm on Miami plus 4.5. Spoelstra, best coach in the NBA, and then he just got his payday. Jimmy Butler stays out. You know what? 6-2 in these last 8 games without Butler. Yeah, Spoelstra just finds a way. OKC, since beating the Celtics in that game, we were on OKC in that game. They go on a road trip, 1-2 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. Not playing powerhouses. They go to the Atlanta Hawks, who we just abused how bad they are at home, lose there, go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, up until that time, had only won 2 of their last 10 games, both of those against the Pistons, and then they beat the Wizards but couldn't cover. Not playing their best ball. Heat, as I said, now they've won their last 4 at home, Miami, covering 3 of the 4. So, yeah, give me the points, and Spoelstra will start earning his new contract. We took plus 4.5 on this one.
And we got Rockets going on in Chicago. Rockets coming off another road loss. This one at Miami. That makes it 3-11 on the road this season. And now in 7 games without Dillon Brooks, they're giving up an average of 7 more points per game. They're missing that defense a little bit. You have a Bulls team coming off a home win against the Hornets. They get a nice backdoor cover in overtime. They're now 8-3 straight up against the spread, their last 11 home games, and that's where I'm looking at this one. Bulls are nothing all the way. Rockets, great start to the season. Haven't really been able to figure it out on the road. They got a couple of big wins to get the first one at Denver, but still not playing the great basketball on the road. And you have this Bulls team who's been playing pretty good the last several weeks. We'll see how it gets here getting closer to the trade deadline. But give me the team who's playing great basketball at home right now. And we'll see if the Rockets can figure out a way to stump that. Chicago or nothing in my eyes.
Yeah, I make this number right there. Look, Houston, it just goes to show you guys, if you're a Massa Edge member, The stat is in there because that's what it means. It's Dylan Brooks. This is a defensive team. Okay, so now you take out their best defensive player and they kind of lose their identity. Different team in the 7 games that Brooks has missed. As Ben said, giving up 7.5 points, more points per game over those last 7 games. That being said, these are 2 of your lower scoring teams. Bulls, 8 of their last 9 have gone under. The only one that didn't go under, our game, the last game against Charlotte, and they needed overtime to go over. That game would have been an under. But on the other hand, 5 of the 7 games that the Rockets have played without Brooks, those games have gone over at an average of 240, at an average of 216.4 points per game. As far as the game, I think the number's right there. As far as the total, if the Bulls win, they'll win in Bulls fashion with an under. If the Rockets get the money, I think that'll be a higher scoring game. And that's all I can see about that one. I've got no bet in that game.
Then we got Pelicans at Golden State. Pelicans killed the Kings the other night on Sunday. 7 had double figures. McCollum had 30. They shot 61%. And that was without Zion and Alvarado, who are both questionable to go today. They're 5-1 their last 6, 6-0 their last 6 on the road, getting it done. And then you have this Golden State team who's just playing horrible basketball right now. Wiggins adding issues to it. He's game worst -29. Curry goes 0 for 9 from deep the other night. They're now 2-4 their last 6, and they're just 8-13 against the spread at home. Golden State's had some success in this matchup. This is the first game they get Draymond Green back. Part of the reason this is a ABC game tonight, weird midweek ABC game. So primetime game, we'll see if Golden State can get things sorted back out. But this is Pelicans or nothing. Want Zion in there, obviously. They're playing very, very solid basketball right now. Over the last 7 games now, their net rating up there, number 2 in the league, and we'll see how long they can continue that. But the way the Pelicans are going, if they have their guy in Zion, would be them or nothing all the way in my eyes.
Okay, Ben, so I've got Dre Green has been reinstated, but he will not play tonight. He's still going to need about another few days for conditioning. Wouldn't expected him to play anyway. With that being said, we've been talking about this now. Golden State, just a team in decline right now. And again, Steph, that's now two games in the last, 10? That after making a 3 and I don't know how many games straight, he has now come up with a goose egg. Another brutal game for them. Wiggins, this kid's been a total disaster since whoever banged his girl or whatever personal issues he's got going on. You get the Draymond Green clown issues going on. This Golden State team, that dynasty is over. We're watching it fade. However, I can't go against that trend. I know it's a different Golden State team and how bad we're talking about them, but trends are trends, guys, and this is a big one. They've won 10 of the last 11 meetings at Golden State. They blew them out earlier this year. Yeah, New Orleans, if we knew Zion was in earlier, look, could I have taken +1? Absolutely on the game. Would have to know Zion's in. If he's not in, I cannot make Pelicans a big enough favorite to lay a number like that with the trend belonging to the Warriors.
This next matchup going to have a very similar trend. Nuggets at Utah. Nuggets coming off a nice win against the Pistons. Murray had a big night. Jokic, weird stat sheet, 4 points on 2 or 3 shooting. 16 assists in just 24 minutes. So he was passing in addition. Then you have this Utah team playing phenomenal basketball right now. Everyone getting touches, 8-2 straight up against the spread. Their last 10, they're 11-5, 12-4 against the spread. That's the second best home against the spread record in the NBA. So covering lately, covering at home, and really covering at home in this matchup. They're 14-1 the last 15 meetings in Utah. The last 5, 4-1 against the spread by an average of 9.5 points. And that is why we got a big bet on this game tonight, John.
This is it. 5-unit bet, Jazz. And let me correct you, Ben. Jazz actually the best home record against the spread, 12-4. OKC 14-5. So percentage-wise, Jazz the best home record. Jazz the best home record against the spread. Denver, well under 500 against the spread. They've not played well on the road at all this year. Jazz playing their best ball of the year and own this series in Salt Lake City. They've won. Let me get this stat up here. They have won. What up to my stats?
14 to 15.
14 of 15, including 4 of the last 5. 14 of 15. These are division rivals. They've won 14 of the last 15. Denver won earlier this year in Denver, 110-102. Jazz did cover that one also. Jazz 7-3, straight up 8-2 over all the meetings, not just in Utah. So they own this series. They're playing their best ball, best against the spread record at home. Denver, just 6-5 against the spread their last 11, 7-12 against the spread on the road. This is 7 points. We're not asking Utah to beat them outright, although sprinkle a little on the money line with a 14-1 straight up. But all I got to do is stay underneath the 7. This is a 5-unit bet for me, guys. It's time we start getting on the right track here.
Hopefully we get a big winner there. Please like, comment, subscribe below. Help us grow this thing, and hopefully you guys tail that. We got Raptors Clippers to wrap up the card. Raptors back-to-back after that game with the Lakers last night we've addressed. Bad news is the free throw discrepancy, all that issue to get the loss on the game. They cover, though, and they're playing great ball right now. The Barrett trades worked out for them. 4 or 5 starters scored 20-plus last night. Barrett, 23 points, 10 boards, had a team-high +10 in the plus-minus category. And they're now 4-1 against the spread since the trade. Then you have this Clippers team coming off a big win against the Suns the other night. Shot the hell out of the ball, 62%. You have Clippers who have been elite at home this season. They're 13-1, 11-3 against the spread when Kawhi plays. They have everything going for them here. Matchup history, bit funky, and especially with the Kawhi Leonard Raptors history. Lean to Toronto. They're playing good ball right now. Obviously, they're fired up after yesterday's game. We'll see if they come for a little bit of vengeance based on what they had to deal with last night.
So a few things here. First, let's talk about the trade. So the trade seems like it has been perfect for both teams. Now since the trade, Toronto 3-2, but 4-1 against the spread. Could have been another W last night. I don't know if you saw where they wave off the game-tying three-pointer. But enough about the refs. Anyway, as far as the trade, Barrett excelling. He's a Canadian fitting in like a glove. Nope. And let's go talk about OG Anunoby going over to the Knicks. Knicks now a perfect 5-0 since the trade. Anunoby is on the court. And, I talk about the slide. He's a plus 111 in those 5 games.
Crazy.
So this trade really doing wonders for both teams. That being said, Toronto, they're tough spot in L.A., second day in a row, tough L last night, and they're shorthanded. Jacob Poeltl, the center, he's going to miss another game tonight. He's going to be out for at least a week. So they're going to be a little shorthanded on a back-to-back. Where are we on this one? They're now this will be the fifth game in 8 days of this trip. Just a tough spot, especially if you're shorthanded and you're playing against the hottest team in the NBA. That's the Clippers. They had one fall-down game. Of course, we were on them that fucking game against the Lakers. That's how unexplainable the NBA is. Red-hot team playing a Lakers team that's lost, that can't even find themselves. And sure enough, that's the game the Lakers stepped up. But don't want no part of Toronto in this situation tonight.
That is the NBA slate, guys. We have those couple of bets. More can be added. We do have some questionables with some key guys, and obviously a good amount of stars who are just going to be simply missing tonight. Butler, Halliburton, Cunningham, list goes on. That's the state of the NBA at this point in the season. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments below as well. We'll get to those. I don't know if you have anything else. Hopefully we can get some big bets going for us today.
Yep, and you guys can drop questions here. You can join us at 12 at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday on Instagram every day. Not only ask your questions, but you can tap in, and we'll take you live with us. Always open to, especially all of our members and our longtime followers, always open to your questions, want to be accessible.
And that's where we're headed. We're a little bit late for the live today, so appreciate you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe below. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.